Hello there, and welcome back to Tall Ship Tuesday. My name is Caroline, and this month, in celebration of Black History Month, we here at the Tall Ship Providence Foundation are shining a light on Black maritime history. The final topic on this day of Black History Month is the story of the Amistad case. Joseph Cinque was born in 1814 in what is now Sierra Leone. He was a rice farmer and family man, until he was unfortunately sold into slavery, where he was purchased by a Spanish slave trader and taken to Havana, Cuba. Now, this was actually against the law at the time. Although trading enslaved people within individual countries was still legal, there was an international ban on importing enslaved people. However, this ban on the slave trade was rarely enforced. In Cuba, Cinque was then sold to two Spanish plantation owners and taken aboard the slave ship Amistad, along with 53 other enslaved people in total. Now, Cinque decided it would be a good idea to lead a rebellion aboard this ship, so early in the morning during a storm, Cinque gathered sugarcane knives found in the hold of the ship, much like this one, and led a mutiny of the enslaved. They ended up basically taking over the ship. Two of the crew members had to escape by canoe, and only the plantation owners remained on board. Unfortunately, having no knowledge of how to operate a ship, Cinque and the others depended on these two Spanish plantation owners, Montes and Ruiz, for navigation. Soon the Amistad was traveling along the coast of the United States as rumors and news reports circulated of a ship with an all-black crew sailing erratically. After nearly 2 months, on August 26th, a U.S. Navy brig boarded the ship off the coast of Long Island, and they all were taken to Connecticut because it was a state where slavery was still legal. The plantation owners were freed at once, while Cinque and the other black men on board were taken into custody. Now, this triggered a massive amount of disputes as to where Cinque and the others should go. The plantation owners wanted them back. The U.S. naval officers wanted to claim them as salvage rights, and both the Spanish and U.S. governments wanted them returned to Cuba, claiming Cinque and his men had engaged in piracy by taking the ship. Abolitionists quickly filed suit, arguing that because they had been illegally brought from Cuba, they could not be considered enslaved people. The courts agreed, but President Martin Van Buren personally appealed the case, wanting to honor an anti-piracy treaty with Cuba. He took the case all the way to the Supreme Court, where another former president entered the fray. Sixth President John Quincy Adams viewed slavery as contrary to the values of the nation for freedom and equality. As president, he had repealed a rule that had forbidden the debating of slavery on the House floor, and he was currently a lawyer serving in the House of Representatives and had the nickname Old Man Eloquent. John Quincy Adams argued for 7 hours over 2 days, attacking the argument that the treaty with Cuba could supersede U.S. principles of individual rights. At one point, he dramatically pointed to a copy of the Declaration of Independence on the wall, declaring, "I know no law, statute, or constitution, no code, no treaty, except that law, which is forever before the eyes of your honors." His arguments persuaded the Supreme Court to allow the men to return to their own country, but the next president, Tyler, opted not to pay for it. Fundraising had to be done by abolitionists, and after enough money was collected, the vessel was finally able to return home with the remaining survivors of the Amistad, 35 of the original 53. Thank you all for joining us this month as we've looked back on Black maritime history. If you enjoyed this video, consider liking and subscribing to the channel. We would love for you to join us as we continue to bring you fun and fascinating history, seamanship, and even a song or two. Until next time, see you at Tall Ship Tuesday. Bye!